Welcome to the Vault, where Central Illinois' best kept stories are held.
Well, Kenny, welcome into the Vault, man.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, excited to talk to you today. We're here with Kenny Hyde, your wellness guide, which is, man, that is a catchy slogan.
Thank you.
Sticks with you. Sticks with you.
Thank you. I hope so. I hope it's memorable.
Yeah.
We'll see if my clients think that.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, history?
Yeah, I grew up in Pike County, so small town west over the Twin Eagle Bridges, and came here for college, not knowing what the heck I wanted to do. Not a lot of purpose, but struggling with my health, in the process. At 18, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol.
That's young.
Asthma. And I was always in sports, but never able to really do too hot. And then found some friends and mentors to kind of follow, that were more successful than me. And it seemed like half of my friends group would want to criticize those types, the ones that were doing well. And I'd actually compliment them and go up to them, and then there's some secrets there, or things to learn. And so that's kind of been my path, 15 years of going from overweight, out of shape, and unhealthy to finding those small truths, that are kind of hidden behind gimmicks and all those things. So over time, coming here for college, I was a traveling electrician, driving to Decatur every day, and we always had to go in twos because the plant was so dangerous, and every partner I had happened to be like a bigger guy, and just learning from me through osmosis, and a group of my buddies banded together and were like, you know what, you're decent at this, why don't you go and give it a shot? So I took the layoff, and that's what I'm doing now full time. I've been doing it 5 years through COVID and actually grown. So
that's awesome.
Nice. So do you have a physical location, or how does your business look today?
Yeah, so a lot of it's done digitally or like over the phone. So it's getting them that accountability. I do have my personal training certification, but that's kind of like the icing on the cake. If I have most of my clients, the big thing is, accountability, sustainability, and habits, like forming the good habits, not relying on gimmicks. And again, for their convenience, over the phone, Zoom, or if they're in network, we do it in person, meetups. So yeah, it's kind of different. Once we get the nutrition down and the basic fundamentals, then we can open the door up to exercise. And I make it a point to be kind of a comprehensive deal. We go grocery shopping, meal prep trainings, so it's kind of diverse, I guess you would say, not too one track on anything. So
I run into Kenny at his office all the time, which is the Harvest Market usually.
Right.
So,
Harvest Market, exactly.
So you'll see Kenny in an island. What are you doing in my office? Sitting there with a client or whatever he's doing.
Right.
I gotta go back to something that you said at the beginning, and then I want to stay on track with what we're talking about now.
Please.
Twin Eagle Bridges.
Yeah.
Twin Eagles Bridge. Is that like a commonly known bridge?
Yeah.
Such a great name.
When you're going to Quincy,
72.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
72 towards
Just
Quincy.
awesome. Just a really cool name for a bridge.
Fun fact.
All I wanted to make sure.
My grandpa and his brother took part in building that bridge, so
That's
I always
awesome.
knew that. So
That's awesome.
It seems like it goes
It's a great
really high
band
for no
name.
reason.
Yes, yeah, it arches. It's crazy. It really does.
It goes really high, but the river's, is it
No.
Is it a river down there? Is that the
it's
Illinois
the
River?
Illinois. Yep. So we're in between the Illinois and Mississippi.
Yeah.
Pittsfield to be exact is where I grew up.
Got it.
So white-tailed deer.
Oh yeah. There's a
Capital.
good little coffee shop right around the corner
Yep.
from that Whitetail office.
Yep. I know what you're talking. What is that? I can't even think of the name of it. I
I
don't go
know.
there often
But
enough.
if I start a band, that's going to be in the running.
Yeah.
Twin Eagles Bridge.
Twin
Yeah.
Eagles Bridge. I like that.
That's in the running.
Like a Leonard Skinner cover band? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
Good.
Well, they're actually the interstate. So they're two bridges.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the interstate. Yeah.
Got it,
That's
got
pretty
it.
dope.
Well, to get back on track, sorry about that. So explain how the process starts, because I know you kind of tailor your plans to the client. Obviously,
Right.
You've got to figure out what's going on with them. So what's the first consultation look like when you sit down with someone?
Yeah, just basically fact finding, qualifying, is this a good fit for you?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I've worked with, and that's the crazy part is it just all depends. I'm there to tailor it, but we just gotta basically learn to follow the rules.
Right.
It's not I believe that it's not an accident we don't have the results that we
Mm-hmm.
want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so finding their bottleneck, like a lot of people I see are actually overestimating what it takes
Mm-hmm.
to be successful with whatever it is, weight loss, the mental game. There are some people that are just down on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So some of it has to do with the success component, but for the most part, it's changing health metrics, because I've done that, the high blood pressure, cholesterol, and it's really centered around getting people to eat more real food. So whole foods,
There you go.
I would say when it comes to the secret, if there is one nutritionally speaking, it's getting away from processed stuff. So we talk about that, but yeah, I mean, it ranges from, 550 pound, person I've worked with, and to somebody who just wants to shave off 5 and have some better habits to,
Right.
See it as an investment. Everything you learn with me, you can take with you,
Right.
forever. There's no gimmicks. We're not counting calories.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why it's the secret, I call it, is because when you consume mostly whole foods, you really don't have to do a lot of counting and tracking. Your body
Makes your
just
life
kind of
easier, yeah.
yeah, because those foods are naturally less calorically dense.
Mm-hmm.
So and the big one is oils. We're not it's not something we think about because you don't really see it.
Right.
You can't really see oil in your food, and that could be 200 calories.
Right.
And if you're doing that every time, that could be a day's worth of calories.
Good
at
point.
a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
So
very
that's
good
just
point.
a kind of one of those little big things I like to talk about. So
How long does it typically take for you to find either, maybe breakthrough is not the right word, but at what point do you feel like you've got a client, maybe for life, or maybe a client that you're at least going to be able to make a difference? At what point, maybe it's months, weeks, whatever, does it feel like you're getting to that point?
the breakthrough,
Yeah.
where they're like hitting their stride, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good question. I've never been asked that question. I would
And-
say normally within a month.
Okay, awesome. That seems
on
quick.
average. Like
Yeah.
some people are lightning. Like it's like, I'll tell you what, military people are always good.
I believe that.
Like I want sign here,
Right, yeah.
if you're military.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they already have that coachable
right.
nature.
Right. Yeah,
so.
that goes a long way.
Yeah.
In all aspects of life. But
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
Health and wellness has got to be on the list.
Exactly. It's important. I know there's a need for it. It's just I think I've been dropping the ball on the marketing end, so that's been this year's big focus.
Sure. Yeah, and I know you've got clients from all different walks of life. And
Yeah.
like you said, somebody that wants to lose hundreds of pounds, or somebody that just
Yeah.
wants to get more in shape.
Yeah.
Do you get people that are training for something? You ever find that?
Yeah, I've had one strongman competitor,
Okay. Very
and that was interesting.
Wasn't me. Sorry.
Just
throwing that out there.
Strong-ish man.
And then some endurance stuff.
Okay,
Yeah, like
cool.
marathons,
Nice.
5Ks, stuff
Nice.
like that. So
Yeah, because I could see that if somebody
Yeah.
was training for a marathon and they just needed someone to help them with the nutrition side, or
Mhm.
little things. Because it seems like that's one thing I've learned from talking to people that are training for, whether it's a race or a competition. They seem to have a lot more coaches than I would have guessed.
Yeah.
So I figured you probably fit in there somewhere. So
Well,
that's interesting.
I never thought of it that way, but yeah, I'd
Yeah.
like to. Weddings, to get ready for weddings.
Oh,
wow,
wow.
there
So
you
that's
go.
a big
huge.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually telecoach.
Mm-hmm.
Never met the person, and I get to meet them in person at their wedding. It was pretty dope.
Did
Yeah.
you at least get to see maybe what they look like before, so that way you could see in
Right.
person?
Oh,
That's-
absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, I knew. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were going down the aisle, and I was meeting them for the first time. It was pretty cool. They
That's
invited me to
crazy.
their wedding, so
That's
yeah.
awesome.
She was the tailor was like, no more. This little Asian gal, no more lose weight.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're doing
Yeah.
it. You know?
Just making alterations left and right.
They get a whole new dress.
Yeah. So it's really rewarding. I think that's the part of it is learn from other people's mistakes.
Right.
And it took me 15 years of weighing my food,
Yeah.
relying on gimmicks.
Right.
I've done all the steps, to get to the truth,
Right.
So kind of your shortcut and your secret all stacked into one.
Very cool.
is the way I pitch it. So
Nice.
yeah.
So you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but how did you end up in Springfield, and kind of what kept you here?
Yeah, so good question. Springfield, I am very dyslexic, and so I was diagnosed as a kid, and so I got a grant to UIS with
Oh,
and,
nice.
and it was
Okay.
so I could drink beer with my friend, to be honest with you. I didn't
A
have
friend that lived here?
a friend that was coming, actually from high school.
Nice.
That moved
There
and
okay.
he went on to do exactly what he intended to do.
There you go.
I didn't have a lot of purpose. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was like, I'm going to go in an alternative route to physical therapy. So kind of staying on that path, not an intellect, always struggled in school
Yeah.
and developed a bit of a drinking problem. So
Okay.
alcohol, and that one day, everybody's got that bottom.
Mhm.
I found bottom.
Okay.
And so I had to pull out of school. It was pretty demoralizing. Got a DUI, full disclosure. And now I'm like, I get to study what I want to.
Okay.
And so that led me to personal development, building a library.
Yeah.
That Audible was really the first investment I ever really made, $14 a month,
There
best
you go.
investment you can make. And reading comprehension was kind of trash too, so audiobooks specifically really helped me to kind of find myself, turn it
Okay.
around, and listen to like what I really am meant to be doing, I guess.
Mhm.
One of my mentors said, whether you know it or not, you're trading your life for what you've decided to do. So you might want to make sure it's something that's worth doing.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a
So-
good point. What was Audible book number 1? I gotta know.
Oh boy, that's actually a good question.
I know a
I'm
lot of
not
times
sure.
they give you like a free one that you don't actually want to read.
It was
So-
probably some Bob Proctor book, if I'm honest.
Okay, cool.
That guy always resonated with me. That was my first coaching program.
Sweet.
It's funny because Derek, the Central Illinois
Mhm,
business
yeah.
guys, he said they had someone on whose mentor was Bob.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
I wrote his name down. I got to go.
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
meet
I
the
believe
guy,
it.
so-
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, so that was local. Yep.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool. And what kept you here other than
Oh, kept me here. A gal, to be honest. And that didn't work out, but then work,
Yeah.
building friends, and I want to say, what year would that have been? 2016? 2000, I don't know. I've been around here for a while, but yeah, I
Mhm.
didn't grow up here. And getting married next month to my
Yeah, I was
beautiful
gonna say.
Olivia. She has been here forever. So.
Right. I was gonna say
all
it did
through school.
technically work out.
Right,
That's
exactly.
great.
Oh yeah, worked
Yeah,
out great.
congratulations, man.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, and love the city. This is the big city to me. She
Sure.
laughs at that. I call it the big city.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I kind of felt the same way. I grew up in Rochester, so it has a Springfield address, so it's a sister
Okay.
city, but also the big city too, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, you hear the sizes of graduating classes and things for some of the city schools, and you're like, oh wow, I didn't know that existed.
Right, that's
So,
no joke.
yeah.
I think I had like 60 something, 62
In class. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That was probably roughly where we were at. I don't remember.
Yeah.
What other type of things are you involved in?
Real estate. That's kind of like the more passive side of the asset column, if you will. I've always wanted to get that going. I've
Mhm.
got a goal to quote retire. I'm never going to stop working, but I want to retire in my 30s. So
Nice.
that's like an ambitious goal.
There you go.
Me too.
So getting
Get that mailbox money.
Right, exactly. So, and then having the ethics involved too. My brother and I are kind of doing it, and we always said we'd never buy a place we wouldn't also live in. So we're wanting to.
It's a
make
great way to do it.
Yeah. So that's something that we just got involved in this year. Had good experience with real estate. I had a property 5 years ago, and it doubled we doubled our money in 2 years.
Oh, awesome.
And I had to get out of the deal, so I'm a big fan of real assets as
Mhm.
much as I call it the Wall Street Casino. I don't know anything. I'm gambling there, so
Right.
so that's kind of another big thing is real estate, I would say.
Very cool. And you do some handiwork too, right?
Handyman work, yes.
Yeah, that's nice. Those go hand in hand.
Yes.
Work on your own properties and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then my brother's an industrial contractor, so
Awesome.
yeah, we've got that going on. Good friends,
Yeah. Good
you
deal.
guys
Yeah.
to help us out if we need leverage,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, man.
So,
Absolutely.
100%.
That's the bread and butter right there.
Yep. So, yeah, I would say those three things: real estate, the fitness business, and handyman work. So,
What about outside of work? You got any nonprofits you're involved in? Any hobbies you like to spend your time working on?
No, I would say networking with new friends. I love meeting new friends. Nick and I are really new friends.
Mm-hmm.
Going to events is
Yeah.
fun, and then of course working out. I mean, I gotta have my gym time.
Right,
you know.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you started a really cool group of people that I've kind of been adopted into a little bit, where just meet for coffee once a week whenever people can.
I
and
guess
just
that
share
would be-
ideas. I mean, it's super cool. I love that. It was something I kind of wanted to do at some point, where it's more laid back. It's the day is set all the time, right? And people can just show up.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really cool idea by you. That was
Thank you.
It's a good group.
It's
Yeah,
no
they're-
rise. It's no rise.
Well, it's different, right? It's a little bit more specific to people that are in business, that are I think I'm the only one out of the group that doesn't own a business.
Mhm.
So it's cool. So there's unique ways to network, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
I like that.
It's not always just I love Rice Springfield probably better than anybody, more than anybody, I would say at this point, but it's different. It's more of a kind of a wide net approach, where we're targeting maybe a demographic, age demographic, but there's no industry specific, there's no interest specific. So but the idea being that there would be other groups that would branch off of that, and that's where I met you, and then joined your group. So that's happening, at least for me.
Awesome. Well, I never looked at it like that.
Yeah.
That's so right. Everything you go to has a different feel.
Right.
So
For sure.
I guess I never thought of that before.
Yeah.
And we need to. I haven't been putting as much. I'll be honest. I haven't put that much energy into it.
Mm-hmm.
So today, I'm gonna see if I can get some new people in there.
There you
So,
go. Had some people in the squad. It's good.
Yeah, I've got like 3 people that I've been wanting to get there, and
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't followed up. I haven't invited. So
It's cool. I always thought I think everybody, and unless it's just me that notices this, but you see those groups of typically old men that are at like McDonald's early in the morning getting the coffee.
The pawpaws
The
at parties.
pawpaws at parties. There you go. That's a great way to put it.
It used to be Mellow Cream back in the day.
Right. Well, and I always think where did that start? Maybe it did start when they got old, and it was retired people that got together and started meeting for coffee once a week or whatever it was. But in my head, probably naively, I think I bet they've been meeting for 40 years or something, and maybe they have. So I think the only way you can do that is to start groups like that, young, and then branch out from there.
before long, you're calling each other names instead of your real name.
Right.
You're just
We're really missing out on nicknames in our generation. I keep bumping into older guys, and
They get-
this guy's.
That's a good point.
I just had a customer. He's like, if you mention my name in this town, they won't know who I am. Everybody knows me as Spider. And I was like, what? Yeah, I was
awesome.
like, what? And he's like, I don't even know how I got the nickname. My whole life, they've always called me Spider.
Yeah.
And then I saw him driving away, and it says it on his license plates, and I'm
awesome.
like,
That's awesome.
see, we're missing out on the nicknames.
Yeah.
I need something.
and they're easy to set up too. I mean, that's.
I do, but are they though? You gotta earn it. You can't just say hey, listen, I'm Scarecrow now.
Well, no, I meant the groups, but yes.
Oh,
the
yeah.
The names. I mean, there's always got to be some story behind
right.
it. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like, but babyface.
Yeah.
I'm thinking too, the whole Italians sitting in front of the.
Oh, yeah.
The,
That's a good point.
You got that set up too.
Yeah. None of them have their real names.
Right.
I actually do know a guy named Scarecrow. That's why I said that.
That's awesome.
But it's interesting.
Nice.
Cheers to Scarecrow.
Yeah. Cheers
That's
to
awesome.
Scarecrow.
So what about you guys? What is your kind of bread and butter? I guess.
Well, banking is my jam. That's my day job. Obviously, it's what I spend most of my time thinking about and working on when I'm at work. Obviously, I've got a daughter, so I spend a lot of time with family.
That's awesome.
Daughter and wife are definitely my happy place that I escape away to, after work. So
That's awesome.
that never changes. Got another one on the way, so that's exciting too.
That is congrats on that, man.
But
That's awesome.
I think for me, it's just trying to make sure I keep some balance. I think that is a word that probably gets overused a little bit nowadays, the work-life balance thing. But it's probably good that it's talked about more.
Yeah.
Because there's something to that.
Yeah.
I think for me, I feel a lot better about trying to establish a work-life balance if I feel like I've earned it, you know. So
Yeah,
I can try to grind it out at work a little bit to make sure that I can feel good when I step away.
Work hard, play hard, right?
Right. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like growing your own vegetables, right? They taste a little better when you grow them yourself.
Heck yeah.
You know, vacation and things like that, you know, feel a little bit better when you feel like you've earned
100%.
it. So, yeah.
100%.
But you, John?
Yeah.
What's your bread and butter?
I'm from Jacksonville.
Are you?
Yeah, apparently that's a big topic from our last podcast.
There's a rumor going around that John's from Jacksonville.
No, I'm born and raised in Springfield, live in Jacksonville now, but you know, it's the same type of thing. Work life, family, you know. We like to go camping and stuff like that on the weekends. So we have
time too.
Yeah, by the time this airs will probably be winter time, but yeah, we're trying to grind out a couple more camping trips here real quick before it gets cold out.
Me too.
It's like perfect timing.
That's
We're big
awesome.
into fall stuff too, so like Spoon River's coming up,
There you
and
go.
what's the one in Indiana? The Covered Bridge
Mhm.
Festival's always a good one to go to. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, camping. That's something I'm trying to get my Olivia into. She's never like tent camped before.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So I'm like, I want to.
What, tent camping is
I
terrible?
want to get back to my Boy
Tent
Scout
camping.
roots.
Oh man,
You
that's
know.
not for me.
You want to tent camp?
Oh yeah, Boy Scout. You know.
Okay.
And yeah, right. So maybe I'm expecting a little much out of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's ways to make it, you know, a little
It's
bit
a good
more
way to
enjoyable.
get hooked into camping, but yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
As long as there's
getting
food.
a camper makes a big difference.
I remember as a kid, we had some neighbors that had the coolest camper ever. This, like, let's say back in 2007, the nicest camper you could get in 2007. And our parents were really good friends, and my dad would always say, like, yeah, one day we're going to go camping with you. And I always imagined, like, us staying in their camper. How cool would that be? Because this thing was sweet. It was
Heck
huge.
yeah.
And finally, we scheduled some time, and we went down there. They very nicely offered to let us stay in the camper. My dad bought 2 tents, and we stayed in tents outside the camper. So every time that I hear somebody talk about tent camping, I think about that letdown as a kid. I don't know if my dad was trying to toughen me up or what.
That
I'm out.
contrast.
I'm out on tent
contrast. I'm
camping.
out here on the ground.
Yeah.
And you're like looking at
Right.
this beautiful
Right,
rig.
yeah.
That's so
I
funny.
think it rained that night too. It's
Oh,
messed up.
Perfect. Perfect. Always does when you tent
Yeah,
camp.
of course. Of
Oh,
course.
man.
So, yeah, out on that. That was a long-winded way to say I was out on that. But hopefully you get her to
Yeah.
open her eyes to it. Maybe it'll
Yes.
work out.
Something.
Maybe that'll be your thing.
We could do a camper. As long as we can like be outside most of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Tent camping is nice because you can go literally anywhere. That is the cool part. So people I
Yes.
know that do it religiously, you know, they love the fact that they can just go wherever they want as far as my car will take me.
Yep.
So it's like, all right, I get that.
I'm also a minimalist, so that would be
There you go.
probably why I guess I prefer that. Just less is more to me most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the
Yeah.
time.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Try
makes
to
sense.
Practice it anyway.
Do you find yourself, as you coach people in health and wellness, do you find that trickles in sometimes where you have opportunities to kind of explain what a minimalist lifestyle is to them because you think it might help?
Yes, actually.
I bet.
Yeah, I work with some people in more advanced ages,
Mhm.
and they tend to go one of two ways. You know, they've learned the lesson
Mhm.
of being, you know, shackled by stuff, and how much it can slow us down, and it can it has actually taken weight off of
Yeah,
my
I bet.
mind. You know, to like shed some weight with that stuff. And it's as simple as like your, you know, fall cleaning, spring cleaning. Like if you just do that, you know, spring
Mhm.
and fall, and just kind of get rid of some stuff that you're just hanging on to just because. But yeah, it also does trickle into probably my coaching style too,
bet.
because I think a lot of us overestimate what's required just from what we've seen, you know,
Mhm.
and all the, not indoctrination, but kind of, you know, it's like we don't have to have a fancy gym membership to have a body.
Oh, for
like
sure.
you don't.
Right.
So, kind of giving them the truth and starting with the fundamentals, I
Mhm.
think is important. So like, yeah, less is more sometimes,
Right.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
So
that makes sense.
during COVID, kind of, we bought some gym equipment like everybody else.
Okay.
Go in our house. I was in a
You're
pretty good
the
routine.
person that raised up the prices on those.
I was, I bought it actually just during, you know, the last part of the pandemic and got some pretty good deals on some stuff on Facebook
There you go.
Marketplace.
Heck yeah, man.
Anyway, so we just got some essential stuff, but we just recently moved this summer, and
Okay.
I got it all set back up. I got my garage cleaned back out, and I found my best piece of workout equipment is the hill that we live on. We live on a pretty
Yes.
good gradual hill, and jogging up that thing,
Oh,
or
yeah.
even just walking up that.
Oh yeah,
really,
just walk, dude.
yeah. So I'll go up
Absolutely.
that a little bit, and then come back, and then just trying to do some high intensity stuff,
go.
and
Good.
the hill is.
That's it.
I didn't think of that too much when we moved
Yeah.
there, but it's nice to have
Walter
a little hill
Payton
to.
built his whole career on a hill, man. So
There you
that's
go.
all he did. Just ran hills.
There's a new documentary on Netflix. I think it's called Live to 100.
Oh
The
yeah,
Secrets
I saw
of the
that.
Blue
I need to
Zones.
watch that.
It's a good one, and it shows you that kind of truth that we're talking about. Like these people who have longevity, they're using their bodies. They like some of the blue zones were in like Italy, where they've had hills, like very hilly terrain in their city, and they walk everywhere. And so like we don't. I hate to like disrupt the industry, but like we don't have to have gyms if we're more active. I think the gyms are for more, city type situations where you got more offices and more desk work.
Right.
Then it is necessary. But if you can integrate it into your lifestyle naturally,
Right.
I think that's a big bonus.
Yeah.
Because I've literally signed people up from a promotion. They got a promotion. They're now not running mail. They're sitting at a desk, and now they're talking to me.
Oh.
25 pounds.
Okay.
It's awesome.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just shifting. That's really what I'm doing. It's giving them the accountability to follow through.
Mhm.
Discipline is just giving yourself a command and following it, right?
Yeah.
And so having that professional in your corner to ensure that you get there,
Yeah.
it's like that work to hill,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
start.
You ever listen to Jocko?
Jocko Willing,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't listen to a podcast or anything, but it was a clip I saw somewhere, and he's
awesome.
like, it's just like everything you say yes to, or so what, I can't remember what it was. No, good. You say good to it. So it's like, oh, I'm tired this morning. Good. Get out there and get to work. Or I
Always
don't
agree.
want to. I
I
don't
like
want to
that.
work out. Good.
Yeah.
Go push yourself to
Good.
do it now.
Okay.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard that one.
Yeah,
That's a new one in
it's
my
a good
world.
one.
like that.
I wish I knew the exact statements that he said, but it
That's
was
nice.
like, whatever your adversity is, just say good to it and push by it. Because
Right,
now it's
yeah.
like, okay, now I know what my roadblock is. I just
Yep.
need to go past
Accept
that now.
it
And
and
it's
you
usually
push through it,
stupid
yeah.
stuff anyway. Like, I don't really feel awake enough to get up and go work out or,
Yeah.
Right.
stupid stuff. So,
I call it excusitis.
yeah.
It's the failure disease.
Ah.
Excusitis.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yep, once we lose our excuses, we find our successes.
Yep.
So you got it, man. That's good advice, old Jocko.
Yeah.
I always felt like it'd be like back to the gym thing. I always felt like bringing the gym to the person was the way to go. Like whether it was making gyms easier to build in your house or garage,
Yeah.
wherever you want to put it, and or workplaces. So like
Yep.
what you were saying, and just because it eliminates a couple of obstacles right off the bat, right?
Oh,
so
I like that.
It's always been like definitely building a home gym's been a goal of mine. I think I talked to you a little bit about it, but like, what would you say, like, traditionally speaking, would be like 3 pieces of equipment somebody should have in a home gym?
That's good.
Maybe 2 or 3 that are like non-negotiables you would recommend someone have.
Yeah, I think some kind of cardio equipment.
Right.
Some way we can get our heart rate up.
It's like a treadmill or an elliptical
yeah, if
rowing
you-
machine.
Yeah, unless you have, my house has a circle. It's a circle. So I can literally like pace while I'm on the phone and walk
There you go.
in my house. If you don't want to do that, get that machine.
Yeah.
I like a good treadmill. I don't like the ellipticals.
Mhm.
So I would go that route, and maybe a pull-up bar and some of the heavy-duty like 4-foot loop, like CrossFit bands.
Okay.
Because you can use that pull-up bar. You can actually put those bands around it to assist you
Mhm.
on your pull-ups. You can anchor them to do triceps, to
Mhm.
dial in all kinds of stuff. You can do deadlifts with these rubber bands off the floor.
Good deal.
I just love how versatile those bands are.
Right.
One day I'm going to have some with my logo on them.
There you
Oh,
go.
that'd be sick. Yeah.
Good deal.
Because the bands, it defies nature.
Mhm.
There's nothing that you can pick up that gets heavier as you lift. That's why rubber bands are known for creating records. for like lifts and stuff.
That's good to
Rubber
know.
bands.
A lot of the old school guys would use chains
Yep,
too.
yep, because they get exactly.
And it looks cool.
Yeah.
That's
It,
a
it
big-
looks
yeah.
really cool,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's that same concept. You know, as you're into the movement,
Yeah.
it's getting tougher.
Right, right.
Which not a lot of things in nature that are like that. So.
I remember football in high school, that was a big thing. Like, everybody wanted to use the chains to do dips and stuff.
Yeah, you just want to look cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah. And it does look cool, so
It really
there's
does.
something to it.
Yeah,
Can't
but I
argue
would
with
say,
that.
yeah, rubber bands, maybe a bar to hang from. You can also stretch from them too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And some kind of way to elevate your heart rate,
Okay.
because your body secretes a enzyme called lipase at a certain threshold, and that cleanses out your arterial walls. It's a really good enzyme to secrete. So getting your heart rate up, you're also getting more oxygen. My buddy Michael, who you've met, he talks a lot about breathing and breath work.
Right.
Really important. So
Awesome.
yeah.
What about cold plunges or saunas?
Yeah, all that stuff's good too. I've done sauna stuff. I've done a bit of cold work. I have wanted to get. You can just buy a deep freeze and modify it to do it the cheap
That's
way.
awesome.
Yeah,
I was
the
going to say,
cheap way.
you're talking about a completely different home gym than I have. You get a sauna and a cold plunge.
Yeah.
Well, you can
I
get
just need a
those.
pull-up bar, man. Relax.
Getting your body out of that
Let's talk about
comfort.
in general.
Yeah.
Anytime, well, I've got a guy I follow. He says the aging can be explained very easy. It's the uncontrolled pursuit of ease and comfort. So anytime you can do anything that forces discomfort is using the body, and not to sound like cheesy or anything, but if you don't use it, you lose it, right?
Yeah.
So forcing yourself to use the body,
That's a good
creating
point.
that discomfort secretes, the body wants to protect, and that can be where those health benefits come from.
So you mentioned earlier you do a lot of visits or
Yeah.
however you explained it.
Yeah.
So what type of technology are you using? Apps or anything? I saw you had Fiverr.
You just got Fiverr going. We just started dabbling with that from a friend of ours, told us how effective it is. But no, just over the phone or Zoom. So phone or Zoom, everybody's got a profile through my website, and then I go off of their profile. So it's got their goals down, their start weight, basically when you sign up, it runs you through a questionnaire of important questions that I need to know your goals,
Right.
even your reinforcement type. Like, do you like the drill sergeant? So I'll even modify that. If you just need kind encouragement, and you operate best that way, then that's what I'm going to do until I find out you don't know what you're talking about and you might need, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, some people say that, and then
Right,
it's like,
right.
sometimes they need a little.
Well, that goes
kick,
back to
you know?
the comfort thing, right?
Yeah.
When they see that question, they're going to answer it
Yeah.
the way that makes them comfortable.
Right.
Most likely.
Yes.
Unless you get like those military people you were talking about. They're
Exactly.
like, no, make me uncomfortable. No,
Exactly. So it is a tailored thing, but yeah, it's as simple as getting on the phone with me and creating real change. So, and I'm really good at people's schedule, whatever it takes. That's my mindset, but I expect it on their end. They got to be willing to keep me in the loop. If they're feeling stuck one day, they probably, So that's the thing, is the one-on-one coaching, they've got access to me all the time. So if they're falling in a rut, they notice their attitude dips, I give little, they can just text me, they can call me. So it is that kind of full-blown support that I think people need today. So
Yeah.
I haven't compromised on that too
I
much.
was going to say, one thing I know about you for sure from getting to know you is you definitely put your clients first. So,
Thank you,
know,
man.
you definitely, if
Appreciate
I need
that.
to get a hold of you, I know for a fact it's going to be after you answer any, questions you might have from your clients, which is the way it should be.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to know that on the other end of that, if it's a service, that you've signed up for, that you're paying for, that, the person that's coaching you is making you a priority. So,
Right. Well, and I'm always going to be willing to do whatever it takes to figure it out.
Right.
I haven't gotten to that threshold where I've been, quote, too busy.
there you
So
go.
I got about 25 on my books per week, kind of average, but I've been up to 40 and still haven't found my cap. So
Okay.
that could be a challenge to the listener.
Yeah.
I really want to get 2 phones, and be blowing
There
up.
you go.
That's the idea. So that's
Good
the
deal.
goal.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Is there like a minimum commitment that people?
3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 months is kind of the standard package, but we're also developing some other stuff, a DIY package that has more like video modules.
Mhm.
So
There
it's
you
the
go.
same program, but if they don't want or need the accountability, they can do it on their own. And they've got those video modules at of course, a lower premium. And then we're also going to fire up a group coaching also because right now people are getting crunched, you know, with interest rates and,
Yeah.
you know, inflation. So I want to be able to have, you know, I've been sticking to the premium one-on-one service only because I felt like anything else would kind of
Right.
dilute it or make it not as effective. So we've been doing a lot of work each week on the different, you know, stages of it. So, and then there's they're like, well, why don't you go up from what you're doing? And I'm like, well, the only thing I can think of is like transformation. I've had a few transformation clients where like that's their mission, and that was some of my most fulfilling work, honestly.
I'm sure. It
Was
has
like,
to be.
yeah, somebody who's like, I want to be unrecognizable. You know, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, yeah.
Right.
So,
Those people got to be easy to coach. 'Cause
Yeah.
The goal is.
oh, they're, yeah. Lit, well,
Well,
they
maybe not easy, but.
keep their fire lit. It's
Right.
usually a divorce or a breakup,
Right.
you know. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So if I got a military divorcee, like, and you're
It's
listening.
over with, huh?
Right. Yeah. Ideal client.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just on fire. On fire.
Right.
Yeah.
We get that question all the time. What is your ideal client or referral or whatever it is?
Mhm.
Like,
You got to drill down.
our answer is
Perfect.
way different than yours, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's nothing's a
That's
motivator like that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
they
no
know how to
kidding.
take orders and.
Yeah.
And have the motivation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no
Exactly.
kidding.
So yeah, it would be that's really what I'm there for, is to just give people that insurance policy
Right.
on their success. You
Right.
know, have that person who's going to be calling you. If you don't answer, I'm going to be texting you. I'm going to be calling you again.
Yeah.
Right, right. Well, and the way that you've got that structured is if, you know, those other areas get established in terms of the video modules and things like that, that's actually the stuff that you can push once you do get to that I'm too busy stage.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? So that's
Exactly.
good that you're getting ahead of it.
Thank you.
As opposed to, you know, oh man, I got to pivot, you know, and add some services because I'm too busy with the one-on-one stuff. So
Right. Right.
It's good that you're doing it now and
Thank
you don't
you.
have that pressure.
Thank you. Thank
So-
you. Thank you.
Tell people how they can get a hold of you, man, in terms of like socials
Yeah.
and whatever.
So I think the best thing to do is just get on my website, kennyhyde.com, and check it out. I've got a lot of testimonials on there, and I'm offering right now, if I may, a free 30-minute upgrade your health call with me to just see what it's going to do. Is it's going to give you clarity on maybe some of your struggle points and give you kind of a path to realizing the change that you've always wanted, so you can put the stuckness to an end, if you will. So I think there's a lot of people like that. If they could, they would.
Right.
But they just stay put, you know, busy professional type things
Mhm.
where I think we can all relate. It's easy to just wish for it and be
Right.
like one day. So I think this call, I encourage you to reach out. My number's 217-883-8837, and it's on the website. So
Awesome. I know you're on LinkedIn, Facebook.
yeah, LinkedIn, all the channels.
Good
yeah.
deal.
So
Good deal. I know
Awesome.
you put a lot of
Thank
content
you for
out
that.
there, so yeah. So
I appreciate it.
yeah, definitely go follow Kenny over there, and you know, thanks for coming on, man. It's been fun talking to you. It's been fun hearing your story, and hopefully people, you know, have a better idea of what you do and what kind of services you can help provide.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
That's the end.
Okay.
You guys are real pros. That's
How
awesome.
We
about
try.
that?
We try.
The Vault, where Central Illinois' best kept stories are held.